I'm Danielle, your host of the Abridged to Motherhood podcast, the place where moms like you learn to thrive, not just survive through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. I'm a birth and postpartum doula and a mom of two who's been where you are. My first pregnancy was filled with so much excitement, but it was also marked by stress, anxiety, and fear of the unknown. I thought I had everything mapped out, but when postpartum hit, I realized how unprepared I was for the physical, emotional, and mental toll of motherhood. It was overwhelming, lonely, and nothing like I imagined. When I found out I was pregnant again, I knew I needed to approach things differently. I made it my mission to not only prepare for postpartum, but to prioritize myself in the process. That shift changed everything. Now I'm here to help you do the same. Whether you're navigating your first pregnancy, feeling buried under endless advice, or struggling to figure out what you actually need for postpartum, this podcast is your safe space. You'll find practical tips, honest conversations, and expert insights to help you feel informed, supported, and empowered through every stage of motherhood. If you're ready to feel confident, prepared, and truly supported in your motherhood journey, stick around. This is for you. Hey friends, welcome back to the Abridged to Motherhood podcast. I am super excited about this episode today. It is all about organizational hacks to have a smoother postpartum. And if you are a friend of mine, you know that I like to organize. I like my lists. I like my planner. I like my habit trackers. I like to label things. Of course, having kids has not made me quite so type A as I maybe once was, but organization is one of my favorite things. So let's talk about some simple, practical tips to help make your life with a new baby so much smoother and less stressful. So we're going to dive into ways to set up your space, streamline daily tasks, and create systems that make the transition into motherhood as seamless as possible. So whether you're pregnant or you already had your baby, these are things that you can implement right away. As a postpartum doula and a mom of two, I know firsthand how small organizational hacks can make a huge difference in those early days. I think so often when we have our new baby, we can feel overwhelmed by all the little things that are suddenly demanding so much of our attention. I don't know how a small little baby makes so much laundry, but they do. Managing bottles and feeding supplies, if you are bottle feeding, finding essentials that you need in the middle of the night, when they have a blowout, simply navigating all these new rhythms of life. I think so often we feel like we can't find the time once the baby arrives to get organized. But if you take a little bit of time to organize yourself, it's going to save you time later. And if you are currently pregnant, this is such a good time to be listening to this episode because there are things that you can do in your third trimester to set you up for success in the fourth trimester once your baby is here. So, number one, you can create stations around your house for essentials. So, I want you to think about where you are going to be most likely feeding your baby, changing your baby, and where are you going to be spending the majority of your time going to the bathroom. So, you can create a diapering station, a feeding station, a self-care station, and depending on the layout of your house, you might have one station upstairs for feeding and diapering and one station downstairs for that as well. But you just have a lot of things that you might need, like a burp cloth, a nipple shield, your nipple cream, wipes, diaper cream. There's just so many things that you want in all the same place so that you're not getting up over and over again. Self-care things for you like Kleenex, chapstick, hair ties, just having that all in one place can make it so much easier. I think we can get so busy taking care of the baby that we just end up stashing items in random places or leaving things around the house. But if we have these designated stations, we have a spot for everything, and then we're less likely to end up searching for what we need because we know where it is. That can help us to feel so much less stressed. Number 2, batching tasks to free up time. So I learned this in business and even when I was teaching, that if I combined like tasks together, it helped me stay so much focused. So for example, you can batch washing all of your pump parts and bottles at one time instead of trying to do it frequently throughout the day. You could take the time once a week to set out outfits for the week for the baby or combine outfits instead of trying to fold each load of laundry as they come out. You could save it for the evening and fold all 3 loads together. You could set aside time each evening to prep your feeding supplies, set out clothes for the next day, or pack the diaper bag so that you are ready to go in the morning when you have an appointment. Trying to do things as you go rather than setting up a system can lead to more stress because you're feeling frantic, like you're going to be late, and there's never a break from your to-do list. So batching has really helped me so much, and I hope that it helps you as well. Number 3, I'm a list girly. I love my lists. I love setting goals for myself. But something that I learned even when I was struggling so much with postpartum depression and anxiety with my first was if I made a list of 3 things that I knew I wanted to get done that day and I did them, it made me feel so good. And my list sometimes was take a shower, eat lunch, because I often would forget to eat lunch. And maybe the third thing was writing a check that had to go in the mail, which who writes checks anymore? Whatever, but pay a bill. If I was able to cross those things off, can I just tell you, I felt so good. And I think so often we think we have to be able to get through this massive list of items, especially if you are type A. You feel like, okay, I have 20 things that I want to do today. And when you can only get 4 done because your baby is demanding so much attention, it just makes you feel like a failure when you're absolutely not. So if you can pick those top 3 priorities, that can help you feel so much more successful. Number 4, try to automate as much as you can. We live in a society now that allows us to schedule grocery deliveries. We can sign up for subscriptions for diapers and wipes so that we don't have to worry about them coming. They will just show up once a month. You could use a sleep app for tracking baby's sleep and feedings, setting a timer app to remind you about baby's feedings. Just all those little things can add up to really help you free up that mental space and your physical energy that you just really need postpartum. So try not to feel guilty for outsourcing certain things, but use the technology that is available to you to help you keep yourself organized and feel successful in accomplishing all those tasks that we all have to do every single day or every single week. And number 5, maybe this doesn't seem like it goes with organizational hacks, but I've talked about it before and I'm going to talk about it again, having a flexible routine. So it might seem like an oxymoron, but routines can provide structure and help both you and your baby feel more secure. But keep it flexible to avoid feeling restricted, because I know for me, if I have on my calendar that I'm doing something from 10 to 11 and I don't get it done in that time frame, sometimes that would make me feel overwhelmed because now I have to push it into the next time frame. So something that I learned to do when I had new babies was kind of have a general routine for the morning, a general routine for the afternoon, and a general evening routine. And that just allowed me to kind of flow through those tasks without having to have them done by a certain time frame. And it allowed me to make room for adjustments based on that day. Because one day you may feel great because baby slept extra long, you got the sleep you needed, and the next day they're teething and up through the night, and you just you don't have the same capacity that you did the day before. So having that flexibility built in just helps you treat those routines as general guides to keep you on track, but without creating that pressure on yourself. All right, let's review real quick. One was setting up stations around your house where you know that you will be with the baby. So one in your room, maybe one in the living room, and then all the essentials you need for the bathroom. Number 2, try batching. So lay out all the clothes for the week, batch meals, prep some meals all at once. Maybe you batch your lunch for the week and then you can just pull it out and heat it up when it's time to go. Number 3, create a small, manageable daily list. Try not to overload yourself. Focus on the top 3 things that you want to get done that day. And sometimes, especially in the early days, maybe it's just making sure that you drink enough water, change out of your pajamas that are stained with breast milk, and trying to text your friend back. Keep it manageable, especially in those early days. Number 4, automate anything that is essential, like diaper delivery, cleaning supplies, utilize a meal kit, grocery deliveries. Anything that you can automate can just really save you a lot of hassle in those early days. And number 5, take some time to think about that flexible routine you want to create. Think about a morning routine, an afternoon, and an evening routine. Just keep it as a draft, change things as you see fit. I think that will really help you move throughout your day with ease. I really hope that this episode gave you some practical ideas for simplifying and organizing your life postpartum, and can help you to focus on what matters most, which is bonding with your baby and prioritizing your healing. And if you are looking for some more ways to prepare, you can download my free guide, The New Mom Survival Guide, Preparing for Life with a Newborn. You can find that in the show notes or go to abridgetomotherhood.com/newmom. And I will talk to you all next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Abridged to Motherhood podcast. I'm so glad you were here today. If you loved this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a review for the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on, share it with a friend, or snap a screenshot and tag me on social media. If you decide to leave me a review, go to abridgetomotherhood.com/review. That link is also in the show notes so that I can send you a little gift in the mail. Your support helps other moms to find the podcast, and it truly means the world to me. Remember, your motherhood journey deserves your care and attention. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, mama, and don't worry, I'm here to help every step of the way. See you soon.